Before we get going, I have to do just a little bit of basic P&L 101. And I'll try not to make this super deep, and I'll try not to make it too boring, because sometimes when I talk to people about P&Ls and all of that kind of stuff, they're already kind of tuning out because they have trouble understanding that. So I thought, there's a few things you need to know. Some of this might be really basic for those of you that are well-versed, maybe, really understand a P&L or an income statement. And for others, maybe it's a little bit of eye-opening experience. But a P&L is really broken down to, I think, like 4 categories. The first category I have there, and this is just a really basic P&L statement, income. And it should be broken out. So if you're looking at your P&L and it just says income, it doesn't say part sales and labor sales, you want to try to break that out, because you can't really, you can't retrieve all of the useful information that you want. This particular shop has a few additional items in it, but for the most part, I just always like to think of it, we only sell 2 things, parts and labor. So you'll see some of the slides moving forward might say just parts and labor, because I want to keep it basic. So the first line is basically sales or income. The next part of the P&L is called cost of goods, or if you think of cost of sales. I remember years ago, my accountant always put numbers on things, and it kind of made me kind of think about that, because for every sale, there should be a sale category, I should say, there should be an offsetting cost of goods category. So if you've got labor sales, you can see labor cost. So you see a 40-10 there on the screen, and then a 50-10. You should see like maybe parts cost. At the top it says 40-20. Potentially it should say maybe 50-20 on the bottom. But for every one of those items on the top, there should be an offsetting cost of sales. Your point of sale, whether you're using Mitchell, Napa Trax, RO Writer, it shows the same thing. It shows your parts sales, your parts cost, or your parts sales and your parts profit. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to deduct the sales minus the cost equals the profit for that. So in this particular business, we have a little over $100,310 in sales, and our cost is $38,931. So the gross profit, which means the money we have left to pay our bills, and what's left after we pay our bills becomes our net profit, which we'll talk about in just a minute. But gross profit is a really super number. You'll see us talking about that. You'll hear me mention it as we go throughout the training, because I believe it's the most important number in a business is gross profit dollars. So we got our income, we got our cost of goods, and then we got expenses. And expenses, and this is just an abbreviated P&L, but expenses are, everything else that's not a part sale or a technician cost. Some folks call them fixed expenses. I think they're more than fixed expenses. There's some payroll in here. If you got a service advisor, he may appear or she may appear down here. If you got a CSR, maybe if you're paying yourself, maybe you appear down there. Not quite sure, but all of those, gas, utility, phone bill, all of that stuff, advertising. There, I said it, Ron, marketing, advertising, all of those things. So we start off with, here's our sale. Then we're subtracting our cost of sale, the direct cost, my direct cost of parts, my direct cost of my technician or my labor sales gives us gross profit. And that's the money we have left to pay the remaining, all the other expenses in the business. So you can see the total expenses in this business is $41,000. If we get it right, what's left is net ordinary income is what they call it, but that's what goes to you. And this should not be, you shouldn't be taking your payroll out of this number. It should be in the top. So if you're turning a wrench, you're going to be up there somewhere. If you're writing service, you're going to be above the line somewhere. This is really the net profit that the business made. And our goal is really 20% net. Now, you might be 0, you might be 10, you might even be negative. But our goal is to try to fix that. So you can see this business is somewhere around 21%. Probably they did $100,000 in sales for this month, 20,000 left over in net income. Pretty good. So that's the basic workings of the P&L and the four components: sales, cost of sales, expenses, and then net profit. That's going to be important as we kind of look through this.